Wouldn't it be wonderful if you didn't feel tired all the time? Slow, sluggish. Maybe you want to have the energy to enjoy hanging out with your kids or, take up a new hobby or hang out with your friends. Are you stuck with an extra 10 pounds that no matter how much you behave yourself or how much you diet or exercise, you just can't get rid of it? What about things like feeling anxious all the time? I don't know anybody lately who doesn't seem to have some sort of issue with anxiety or depression or just not feeling quite like yourself. How about things like having a low sex drive, being totally into your spouse but just not having anything left at the end of the day to really want to connect in that way? How about things like vaginal dryness or even painful intercourse? Well, I'm going to talk to you about all of these things today. Also, some of the number one causes of these symptoms and what we can do about them. Because don't worry, you're not stuck like this. My name's Jen Bullock. I am the nurse practitioner here at Illume, and what we're really known for is our expertise in sexual and intimate wellness as well as facial aesthetics. Although if you looked at my Instagram page or my website, you would probably just think that I specialize in facial aesthetics. It's oftentimes, these things like these symptoms are not stuff that people talk about. I mean, a lot of us probably just have this idea that, there's something wrong with us or that we're flawed or that this is just part of being stressed out or working or being a mom or all of the things that we hear as being normal. But I'm here to tell you these things are not just a normal part of aging. I got into this industry and working in, intimate wellness and specifically bioidentical hormone replacement therapy because I am that middle-aged woman, mid-40s, and I was seeking solutions for myself. So I've been in the healthcare industry for well over 20 years, but a nurse practitioner for the last 5. And one of the things that drives my practice is searching for solutions for myself. So I'm always saying, it's all about me, but really it's about you. The reality is that as things come up for me, I want the absolute best solutions. And so I go out of my way to find them for myself, and then I get to share them with you. I just want you to know that, these are not things that you have to live with. There are over 55 million women who are currently in menopause. So that means you haven't had a period for over a year. That's not me. I'm mid-40s. I'm what you would call perimenopause. But there can be women in their 30s that are having hormonal imbalances. And oftentimes what we see, first off, is things like fatigue, weight gain, cognitive decline. So maybe you're super forgetful, loss of interest in sex. There's so many different things that show up that we think are just a normal part of life. And they're actually just your body being like, hey, things are off balance here. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Initially, I started to learn about this technique this treatment because I had really just decided that there was maybe something wrong with me. I am a busy, successful entrepreneur. I had just finished graduate school, and I worked full-time through all of that. I've always felt like I was pretty driven, and, I just felt like maybe I was tired, right? So I have an amazing husband. I love him so much, and he's really good looking, and it's never been that I'm not attracted to him, but I literally had zero sex drive or interest. All I wanted to do at the end of the day is go to bed. And I thought that once I was through school that would improve, and it didn't. And, it's really created a lot of challenges in my marriage because, of course, there's, the thoughts like, maybe, he's asked me, he said, are you no longer attracted to me? Or, Is there something wrong in our relationship? And the answer was always no, but the reality is I was still just too tired at the end of the day, and I would rather go to bed than have that intimate level of connection. And so I started thinking about myself, and I'm like, well, is there something wrong with our relationship? Or is there something wrong with me? Am I flawed somehow? And I ended up taking a class in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, and was able to realize that, very likely it really had nothing to do with the fact that there was something wrong with my relationship, but more with the fact that there was something going on physically, right? So knowing that there's a physiological reason for being tired, or carrying around the extra weight, which was also something happening in my life, and just the inability to really get restful sleep, and having some intrusive and anxious type thoughts. Those were all things that I learned very quickly were signs of hormonal imbalances. And one of the things is in traditional medicine, you'll go get your labs, and they aren't looking at those kinds of things unless you are specifically looking at hormone levels. And a lot of times the other thing about those labs is what's considered, normal values to your standard practitioner are absolutely not normal values for somebody who specializes in hormone therapy. The thing that makes the bioidentical hormone replacement therapy unique is that the replacement is intended to be exactly like the hormones that your body naturally make. There's this idea that, we're just supposed to naturally decline. And thousands of years ago, that made sense, right? But we don't have, food shortages or, famine, and we don't have to reserve our resources for the childbearing people of the clan, right? So the reality is that we can maintain our health and vitality, and we can continue to feel good in our bodies by supplementing with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And it's not only just, about how we feel. It actually really is important for protecting us against things like heart disease or osteoporosis, the prevention of colon cancer and breast cancer and uterine cancer, protects us against having strokes. Alzheimer's disease, one of the number one causes of cognitive decline are declining hormone levels in women. So you're not just forgetful, your hormones are declining, and the reality is that leads to issues with memory and cognition. Women who are on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy not only look better because declining hormone levels show up in our skin first, right? So when I first started this, initially, I was noticing changes in my skin, right? So that sort of graying or yellowing of your skin tone, you start seeing laxity, the elasticity starts to decline. Those are related to shifts and changes in our hormones first and foremost. So I can't tell you how many people show up in my office with skin conditions or, wanting Botox because they're getting wrinkles or wanting filler. And then, you start to ask questions about, just energy and things like that. And lo and behold, almost everybody is struggling with a variety of symptoms like, fatigue and anxiety and all that sort of stuff. And so what I started to realize is that this goes hand in hand with the overall anti-aging in the clinic. And every single person that I talk to about this almost every single person has something that they could benefit from bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So it's amazing for, skin health. It's also amazing for improving overall quality of life. So mood, energy, sleep, sexual function, all of those sorts of things. How it works is we do a blood draw, okay? And you come into the office, it's super simple. We are going to be looking at everything from whether or not you're anemic to what your liver is doing to your vitamin D levels. And then we take that along with your hormone levels and we determine specifically for you, based on what's going on in your body, a regimen. And, you know, commonly women are deficient in testosterone, which is most often thought of as, you know, like a guy's sex hormone. When you don't have appropriate testosterone levels, you're gonna not want to, you know, be intimate. You're not gonna have as much energy. You're gonna have a hard time building muscle. Even just being like energetic and vital and, you know, like having creative thoughts and things like that. Those are all impacted by low testosterone. For me, that's what was going on with me. I had low testosterone and low progesterone. You correct those things and all of a sudden, hey, your husband is really good looking again. Hey, you've got, you know, skin's looking beautiful and, you know, no longer has that yellow glow and, or hue. You have energy to want to, you know, do things and create things, and it's just a whole nother level. So essentially, we look at your specific stuff. We work with compounded pharmacies that make our bioidentical hormones for you individually. There's a couple of different ways that you can do the therapies. So you can either do a pellet, which we do for women every 3 months. It's a really simple little insertion. It goes in the subcutaneous fat, so like the fat in your butt pad there. It goes right underneath the skin. It's like the size of a grain of rice, and you don't have to think about it. It's just there. No big deal, every 3 months. And then if you aren't wanting to do a pellet and you're somebody that knows that you can do a daily regimen, there are creams and patches, and those are really effective too. The other thing is, people wonder about safety, right? So back in the 2000s, there's this crazy article that came out that demonized hormone replacement therapy. And the reality is that traditional hormone replacement therapy does have some known risks with it. But bioidentical hormone replacement therapy has never been shown to have any incidences of increase in cancer or heart disease or stroke or heart attack or any of the things that happen with the traditional hormone replacement therapies that were taken from progestins, which are like man-made stuff, and also like horse, the Premarin is horse urine. So those things are not natural. Those are not the hormones that we're going to be using. They are made to be exactly like your body. And the cool thing about that is that it's going to protect you again from things like cancer, stroke, heart disease. It's going to improve your skin and your energy and your vitality and your sex drive and vaginal dryness and all the things that people come in complaining about. In all, it's like, you know, getting your the drive back that you had in your 20s when things were, you know, when your body was at its absolute prime. So one of the things that I would love to do with you is to sit down and do an intake. So what we do is we get you scheduled in the office. You come in, we fill out a questionnaire that has you know, all of the different top things that you're experiencing. We're able to scale it out and determine like the overall intensity of symptoms. We do a lab draw. We talk about options, and then we get you on in for an actual appointment to prescribe the pellets or the patches or the creams, whatever it is that we decide is best. So if you are ready to make a change and see if bioidentical hormone replacement therapy is right for you, I would love to see you in the office. So go ahead and click the link to find out more.